RTS elements, cyber hacking, base building, supply chain management. Oasis Mission has a little bit of all of it. Is it a disconnected and disjointed jumble or a solid prospect? Watch on and find out. My name is Thoraxe, and this is Strategy for Busy People. If you've got a few minutes, I'll tell you what to play. Oasis Mission by Lunar Pug Studio is a title that immediately caught my eye. I like space stuff quite a lot, and while I don't care for RTSs, this game didn't initially appear to be one. It isn't fully one either, but it does have quite a few RTS-like elements. I put almost 6 hours into this title in May of 2025 as it got very close to its 1.x release. Now, one thing of concern right off the bat is that the game has possibly become abandonware. There have been no posts by the developer in the community forum on Steam in a few months and no game updates. There's no Discord server for the game. Will it go anywhere? It's unclear. With that out of the way, let's look at the game. The game is a mixture of base building and resource transformation with a splash of an RTS feel lumped into it. Much like an RTS, you are building up your base to produce the resources required to build ships in order to defend your base from the enemy. These enemy attacks come in various waves as the game progresses, and each wave is more powerful than the last. But before that, you have to get things started. Your initial ship has to do all of the things. It has to mine resources to bring them back to the base and then construct the facilities, as well as fly engineers around to their workstations. Fundamentally, you are constructing your base and doing research to unlock bigger and better things to construct in your base to continue this cycle. From humble beginnings with just simple engineering camps to more advanced research laboratories and production facilities, things progress more or less pretty well. Little problems seem to creep in here and there, and not in the sense of the game throwing problems at you, but more problems with the title itself. As an example, engineers come in via a landing location, but sometimes, and for an unexplained reason, they won't actually go to a work location, and a work location will complain about not having engineers. Trying to manually pick up engineers with a ship and deliver them to a work location doesn't seem to do the trick. This problem has not yet been answered either via fix or with a literal answer in the discussion forum, so you end up either being stuck or having to try to work around it by building other facilities in the hopes that it will unstick itself. As your base gets bigger and as you need more resources, you begin to build additional ships. This, too, becomes a little bit of a challenge because the user interface doesn't make it easy to figure out which ships are doing what. Each ship can have different tasks enabled or disabled, and those tasks are controlled by the game's AI. A ship with construction enabled will construct buildings as necessary. A ship with logistics enabled will move supplies from needed places to destination places. Except that logistics feature only works when supplies exist within the operational radius of both the storage and the target building. To move resources between storage facilities, you can set up transport routes, but these too sometimes seem plagued by little bugs and issues. They don't always operate as expected, which can lead to resource shortages and other challenges. Ships enabled for mining will mine resources and then, unfortunately, return them to the nearest storage no matter what, and then you have to create a distinct transport route to move those resources to the needed locations. Knowing which ship is assigned to what task requires, unfortunately as well, clicking on every single ship in your inventory to figure out which one has what you're looking for. In the mid-stage game, you have dedicated combat ships, which look obviously different from cargo and utility ships, and that's good, but finding the right utility ship is a grind. The game features some colony management aspects as well, and certain resources must be produced to keep the engineers happy and productive. If the engineers get too unhappy, they might leave, which stymies your production or your research. There's also an interesting mechanic of pacts and goals. Pacts are temporary choices that provide specific benefits, like boosting engineer morale. Goals are, unsurprisingly, things that you do in exchange for a reward. There's a system of trade with other actors in the game so that you can get money to use to, well, buy things. That's typically in the form of trade as well, but it's usually done to get access to resources you don't want to make yourself. Ultimately, the goal of the game is to keep your base in one piece throughout the escalating attacks in the hopes of constructing the Oasis Mission, which presumably is the end game. The game includes several different maps that offer slightly different challenges in terms of resource location, camping enemies, and so on and so forth. The replayability will be good once you consider the different maps and all the different gameplay levers that you can adjust. Before I give my final verdict, take a moment to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to share it with your friends. Agree with me, disagree with me, or want to see other content? Let me know in the comments below. Want to try this game yourself? Check out my humble affiliate link below. And if you want to support me in making more of these videos, become a patron on Patreon. Your support really makes a difference. The final verdict. For a solo indie dev, this is an impressive project, but it does have a fair share of issues that combine to make it occasionally frustrating or, in some cases, unplayable. There are some bugs here and there and some quality of life features that would be needed to really make it awesome. On my trademark 3-point score scale of avoid, meh, and I forgot to eat, I ate lots of rations and drank lots of purified water, but I don't regret at all the time I spent with Oasis Mission, and I look forward to seeing how the dev helps it along over time. I'm sure if you give it a play, it will go a long way to supporting Lunar Pug and continuing development efforts. In the end, though, I packed up my spaceship and blasted off down along the rocky road. That's an ice cream joke if you didn't get it, but it's also terrible because in space, there are no roads. And if you know where that last quote is from, you get 1 million internet points.